Basically, we had a we up, y'all. I've completely messed up my friend's apartment. My friend Charlotte has over 1,000 books and is in desperate need of storage. Luckily for her, I'm Imani at home, and I do wild and crazy DIY projects like this all the time. She wants some shelves that fit perfectly in this nook of her dining room. Her apartment is like a railroad style, so adding storage in this corner is a really great idea, especially because this radiator doesn't work. She found these slabs on Facebook Marketplace from a guy in West Virginia, and they are so heavy. But I know that I can create something beautiful, so follow along as I make over this entire corner and build the most beautiful live edge shelves you've ever seen. Hi homies, welcome back to the channel. It's me, your girl, Imani of Imani at Home. We are starting a new project. We're not at my house, we're at my friend's house. A couple months ago, she went down to like basically West Virginia and purchased 3 of the biggest pieces of wood I've ever seen. Like, I can't even call this wood. This is just like a tree. She asked me if I would make her some custom shelving, and I was like, yeah, sure, when it's not cold. I'm gonna see if I'm capable of taking these outside. I might just end up cutting these in her apartment and then just doing a really good job of cleaning up, because I don't think I can take these outside. I'm gonna take you guys along on the process of me building out these shelves. They are going to be completely customized, totally new. I've never done anything like this before. I actually went to Lowe's yesterday and talked to this guy. His name is Mike. He was really nice, and we had a long conversation about what I should be doing. And I was on the right track. I knew what I was supposed to be doing, but I was just nervous about it. I put some plastic around the entirety of the room because I don't want any of her books or any of her art or anything like that to get damaged. So I need to get 6 shelves out of these 3 pieces. And so I have to decide where I'm gonna be able to get those pieces from. My friend really likes the live tree aspect of this. I'm trying to decide, like, if I cut it right here, this would be a pretty easy place for me to get the back half. What side is better to keep? These are solid oak, and oak is very thick. I think I'm just gonna do straight ones going all the way across, and then the ones that go this way will probably just be like shorter and then like butt right up to it. So I need 3 shelves that are 36 inches, and then I need 3 shelves that are 24 inches. Then all of the shelves at minimum will be 12 inches deep. I love the way this like sticks out down here, but I don't really like that edge. I think I like this better. For this type of project, we need PPE. We have earplugs, glasses, and gloves, because I'm not trying to lose an eye. I'm incredibly beautiful. I like these because they come all the way around the side, so it's not like anything can like get in there. Also, Lucy Lou and my girl Drew, Cameron D and Destiny, Charlie's Angels, come on. Okay, I'm probably not gonna get a lot of cuts done today because it's getting late. This is pretty loud and I don't want to like disrupt my friends' neighbors. So let me see how hard it is to cut this, and that will tell me what I need to do tomorrow. You have a circular saw. The hex key to change the blade is right here on the side. You're gonna hold down the lever that's right here. To cut this, I'm gonna change out the blade to this one because it has more teeth. Hopefully that will allow me to get a cleaner cut. Again, very nervous. When you're changing the blade on your saw, I do like to make sure there's no battery on it so that I don't, you know, accidentally kill someone. Just too big. Oh, this is too big. Okay, so the blades that I have are too big. I got the 7.5 and not the 6.5. I'm gonna go back to Ace Hardware, I guess. Something I've done to sort of like protect myself to make sure that this thing doesn't fall and collapse, because I cannot overstress how heavy these shelves are. I'm using this 3-step ladder here to sort of hold up this end of it. It's not touching it, but when it falls, at least it's gonna fall on top of here. This is so that this side doesn't lift up. I thought I had my big clamps, but these will just have to do. I'm gonna use this rolled up rug. I'm just gonna tuck it underneath here, because just in case it does fall, I don't want it to hit the ground. I'm very stressed out about this. I will be honest, I'm scared. That was pretty easy. I'm not gonna lie, that felt pretty easy. Like easier than it should be, probably. But let's keep going. It died out. I think it's the battery. It was able to get through about here. So I think what I'm gonna do is just go on the other side and go back this way. So then hopefully it'll just go apart. I knew that this was gonna be tough to get through here. I am very determined. Okay, until the end, until the end. I'm holding it. I'm holding it. Oh, it broke apart. It broke apart. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. I was off by like a little bit, but that's nothing a chisel can't fix. This is some beautiful wood. And literally everybody at the hardware store was like, that's beautiful wood. And I said, I know. And just to check myself on the sizing, I just want to put this up on the wall. Yeah. I'm probably gonna cut this like not in half because I want it to be about 12 inches when we're done. First piece done.
The wood I'm working with here is actually cedar, not oak. She had another oak piece that we didn't end up using for this project, but it's time to get started cutting the rest of these pieces out, and I was being super careful not to drop any of them. These were so heavy, but the clamps and this pony sawhorse table were essential to getting this project done.
Dramatic. My friend has this like sort of tiered bookshelf that I'm actually gonna use as the end support here because it's a little bigger. It kind of makes more sense to use that. Something I really enjoy about DIY projects is that it opens me up to new opportunities to learn. It's funny because when I was a kid, I was not the kid who was really into like putting stuff together or construction or anything like that. I feel like some people when they were kids, like their DIY journey is not a shock to anyone because they were the kids that were tinkering with stuff and building stuff, doing blocks and Legos and all that. And I just wasn't like that as a kid. I was such a girly, like, ew, no, I don't want to do that. I was just like, nah, I'm good. All right, we're through.
Wait, this isn't in there, is it?
Piece number 2. This last piece is like 39 inches long. So I'm gonna cut this down too. And then we will have the first 3 pieces that we need. Okay, so now that I've cut down all of the wood pieces, I need to shave down the back half of them so that I can make sure they're straight. The bark is gonna come off, but I didn't wanna worry about treating the bark. So I made all of the major cuts because there's no point in cleaning up 2 sides of bark if I know I'm gonna shave down 1 side. Putting this here, I've decided which side I'm gonna cut on this one. Park this on the edge here. Let me put my ear protection back in. I will say though, these little ear things have really been working. Usually I just wear AirPods and like those are okay, but those usually stop me from being able to hear. These protect my ears, but they don't stop me from being able to hear what's going on.
Burrell came over to help me finish the rest of the cuts, and I was super grateful for his help, but it was getting late and I didn't want to be rude to any of my friends' neighbors, so we wrapped up day 1 of the project. If I had to do this again, I would definitely do these cuts outside because the amount of sawdust we had to clean up was insane. But anyway, shout out to the plug-in Dyson. You really held it down, Burrell.
It's day 2, we're back. I'm tired, but I'm feeling very good. Today is all about prepping the shelves themselves to go up. A lot of the bark came off when I was doing the like first initial cuts. I was trying to preserve them, but it's just not possible. I'm gonna take all of the bark off and like sand it down and treat the sides. I have a number of tools here that I'm gonna use in order to take off this bark. My Dremel has like all of these different sanding attachments because some of these pieces are really small. I also have these different chisels. I have my orbital sander. The Dremel is like a smaller sanding attachment. So we have a lot of different things that we're going to use to get this happening. This is the respirator that I picked up this morning because today is going to be a lot dustier than it was yesterday. So we're doing full PPE today. I used a respirator before and I don't mind it. It's actually pretty comfortable. You just look like Darth Vader. Yesterday when I was cutting, a piece of wood copped up, flew into this glass, and like had I not been wearing these, I probably would have lost my eye. Put the goddamn PPE on. I am gonna go in more with a smaller, more detailed sander to make sure all of this is like gutted out so that when I do the poly on both sides or all sides of this, it looks good. I'm gonna pull out my Dremel with like all of the different attachments that it has so that I can get into all the little grooves. It's called Nylox. It's an abrasive impregnated nylon bristle brush. This one was a 120 grit. It worked so good to get off the sort of bark and like smooth this out. It's still pretty smooth. I'm probably gonna go into it with another sanding implement too. Overall, very impressed with how this is turning out. Luke, I am your father. Sometimes when people do these sort of live edge projects, what I've noticed is that they will fill the gaps or the holes. I personally hate that look so much because these shelves are simply just going to be used as shelves. I don't really see a need in order to do that. It's actually time for me to go in with the orbital sander. These are already pretty flat, but I just wanted to make sure it's super smooth so that it's ready for the finishing layer. I'm gonna start with 100 grit to just go across the top and make sure everything is like super smooth. I was watching this woodworking video. They said to mark your surface with a pencil. As you're moving from one side to the other, you know if you've passed a certain area before, and that it helps you keep track of where you've been. Get our PPE back on.
I really hope the real woodworking daddies don't see this because I am currently sanding against the grain, meaning I'm going up and down, and I must have been delirious because I know that you're supposed to sand with the grain, meaning that you're supposed to go with the lines instead of against them. If you sand how I'm doing in this clip right here, you are gonna see small notches in the wood, and that will be really annoying to fix. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but if you're looking to get that professional finish, go with the grain and not against the grain. I'm also making sure to run the sander over the edges of the woods just to make sure that they're smooth to touch. I don't want Charlotte to reach up to try to get a book and end up getting a splinter or anything like that.
We're back on day 3. It's time to polyurethane these boards. But first, we have to do a deeper clean, deeper than the clean that we did yesterday. So I'm gonna use the vacuum to just run along all of the boards and make sure that they're free of dust. Then I'm gonna go back in with a tech cloth to make sure that's good. To do all of these at the same time, I'm gonna have to set up a station where I use the sawhorse table as like a surface for maybe 2 of the boards, lay the rest of the boards out on here so that way I can work on all of them at the same time.
We decided against staining these because my friend liked the natural color, but I did treat them with a pre-stain from Minwax to condition them. There are no plans to eat off of these shelves, so I wasn't thinking about making them food safe or anything like that. If you are doing a woodworking project on things that you hope to eat off of or use as utensils, please do some additional research on the best sealants because I promise you, I don't know. While the conditioner dries, I started hanging the brackets for the shelves. If you've ever tried to move a box of books, you know exactly how heavy they can be. So I wanted to make sure that these would be stable in the wall. I ended up getting these heavy duty brackets from Lowe's to ensure that they could handle all of the weight. The walls are plaster, so I use these Tapcon anchors to install the brackets.
Morning. We're back for, I don't know, day 4, day 3, I can't remember. 1 coat of poly has already been applied. We're gonna have to sand it down in between. So you sand in between the layers of poly. I think I'm gonna go for 3 coats because I want these to just be really, really solid, really, really hardy. It has been a full 2.5 weeks since I've been to Charlotte's house to finish this project, but we're back because basically we had a major, we up, y'all. I've completely messed up my friend's apartment. We had a problem, and let me show you guys. Basically, what's going on is, you know, plaster walls, they're old, they're weird, they do strange stuff. All of the screws that I've been trying to use to attach the brackets, they have just started to fail in all of the different holes that I was creating. I started with a very like small but solid anchor, and then I just moved up to a bigger anchor, hoping that it would like be able to catch and hold, and it just sort of didn't work. Now I am going to fill the holes with some spackling paste and then just drill different holes.
In case that didn't make sense, most of the Tapcons that I used worked just fine, but in some places I either drilled the pilot holes at a weird angle or the universe was just being funny. Some of the Tapcons would just start spinning inside of the hole, rendering them useless. I filled the original holes that I made with spackling paste, waited for those to dry, and then installed new pilot holes, and I was able to get those to hold, and they are super sturdy and the shelves look beautiful. I am absolutely obsessed with how this project turned out, but more importantly, Charlotte loves it, and she has been using these bookshelves to hold all of her fabulous collection of books. We are currently in the process of creating a library because she has just crossed over to having more than 1,000 books, which I think is the official definition of a library. So we're gonna start working on a system to categorize them and catalog them and make sure that this stays organized and beautiful. Let me know what you guys think of this project in the comment. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.